The Erik Ten Hag era really is about to begin. On Tuesday, we play Liverpool in the first game that we'll get to see how Manchester United play under Erik Ten Hag. Now, I know that you share a lot of frustration that I share that Tyrell Malacia is the only senior new signing that we've got inside this squad. But there's still going to be so much to learn, I think, from this game against Liverpool. So what I want to do in this video is run through how I think Erik Ten Hag will set Manchester United up without Cristiano Ronaldo, because that's a big question about this pre-season tour. How can United cope without Ronaldo? We'll see the first signs of that in this game here against Liverpool. I'll run through all the news about the pre-season tour squad that has travelled. That's been released. Everything that Ten Hag has been saying in his first interview out of the pre-season tour, and then we'll run through all the tactical questions. If you do enjoy the video by the end of it, please consider joining the United People's TV community. I'm going to try and cover the pre-season in as much detail as I possibly can. Hit the notification bell as well if you want to get a ping every time we go live. But yeah, the squad has landed now. We're in Bangkok, and I'm excited to... Look, the pre-season is a pre-season. We won't learn anything definitively. But learning is what this pre-season is about. It wouldn't matter who we're playing. The fact that we're playing Liverpool tomorrow, I don't really think changes anything. If we were playing Preston or if we were playing, I don't know, a Bangkok 11, I think Ten Hag would still want to learn the same thing. The results of these pre-season friendlies will not define whether Manchester United's season is a success or not, but it can help with building momentum. Now, if we look at the squad that's flown over there, this is the full squad. You've got De Gea, Heaton, Bishop and Kovar as the four goalkeepers. You've got Bai, Delo, Led, Lindelof, Maguire, Malacia, Shaw, Telles, Tuanzebe, Varane and Wan-Bissaka. The most notable different person missing there, is Phil Jones, who stayed behind and he's doing his own separate pre-season training. Also, Alvaro Fernandez isn't there. Sounds like he's going to be going out on loan. In midfield, we move on. And I'll be honest, the midfield, it goes to show how much we need to strengthen this midfield, really. Look at that. Ahmad Bruno, Fred Garner, Hannibal Iqbal, McTominay, Pellistri, Savage and Van der Beek. We really need to strengthen that midfield. Everybody knows that. And up front, again, we need to strengthen, really. Chong, Elanga, Garnacho, Martial, Rashford and Sancho. I think there's 31 members of the squad who've gone out there. And everyone's concerned. Of course we're concerned because we haven't made all those key signings. But there still, as I said, will be things to learn. You go here, this is what Erik Ten Hag has said in his first interview in the build-up to the pre-season game against Liverpool. He goes, of course I want to bring energy in my team. I must say the players do really well. They're focused. They bring for themselves the energy. You see they enjoy playing football, they enjoy playing football together, and they work really well together. And from everything that we've seen, I've covered the pre-season preparations in as much detail as I possibly can, and I think you've enjoyed the videos, and I want to say thank you for that, because it's nice that content like that resonates with fans. It's not just all doom and gloom, it's not just all about transfers, it's about focusing on what we can see in front of our eyes as well. Ten Hag here saying, look, I have to learn, I have to know my squad, the personnel, the individuals and the players. That is, I think, one of the biggest advantages from the tour. We have 2 weeks to work really close together and we will learn about each other because I want to learn about them and they want to learn about me, my coaches and my assistants. I know there are massive negatives about not having everybody on the pre-season tour, but if we're trying to look for a silver lining, there's going to be a lot of the youngsters here who will get more eyeballs, more opportunities and more focus from Erik Ten Hag. So maybe the likes of Garnacho, Iqbal, Charlie Savage, Hannibal, Pellistri might get more focus and more time to impress, and maybe they will take advantage of that opportunity. We want to play a proactive style of football, said Ten Hag. This is the crucial part before we head into looking at the tactics. On the ball and off the ball, trying to do that has to be our intention. The coaches bring it over to the team that we are in every situation proactive. We are brave and willing to have the ball to give each other options, but also off the ball to get the pressing style is what we're working for together. Now, we've seen, as I said, I've covered the pre-season in quite a bit of detail, and we've seen lots and lots of this. Now, let's head over to the tactics board now. Having seen the squad, having heard from Erik Ten Hag, I'm going to predict what our starting 11 is going to be against Liverpool. And it's probably going to be wildly wrong, because it must be the hardest 11 to predict ever. But you can see that here. This is what I've gone for. I've gone for David De Gea in goal. And I'll run through each position and where Ten Hag really wants to learn. Shaw and Wan-Bissaka as the fullbacks, with Tuanzebe and Lindelof as the 2 centre-backs. In midfield, McTominay with Garner, Donny Van der Beek as the number 10 with a front 3 of Rashford, Martial and Garnacho. Now, as I said, this isn't about putting an 11 out to beat Liverpool. Because we're probably going to lose. Liverpool are very well, one of the best teams in the world right now. This is a Manchester United team which is A, learning, B, in its first game since Erik Ten Hag took over, C, we are not the finished product yet. There will be quite a few new key signings. But in terms of learnings, right, I'd say the most important things that he wants to learn out of this team there are, can Wan-Bissaka, can he do it? Now, a big reason that I've put this back four in is because Wan-Bissaka's been there since day one of pre-season. So is Tuanzebe, so is Lindelof. I would probably like to put Varane on. And bear in mind, the majority of these players, they will come on. It will be probably a completely different team for the second half. But I'm putting a lot of these players in because the majority of them have been there since day one of pre-season. Therefore, they're going to be a week ahead in terms of fitness. Therefore, I think they'll probably deal with the intensity of the first half against Liverpool better than other players. And of course, McTominay, I think he only joined up in week 2, so it's not a full 11 there. But in terms of the things I'm going to be looking for, first and foremost, I want to see this back line here. If you were to go last season, you would probably see our average position for the back line will be right on the edge of our own box. And what Ten Hag will want to be doing with this team is getting them to get the average position up there. So I want to see everybody doing this. The starting positions of every single player inside that defence and midfield coming up slightly. Whether as I've got McTominay and Garner down here, it could be other people. It could be by doing this and by having an increased average position on the pitch for everybody. You make the pitch smaller, you make the pressing game easier. And as Erik Ten Hag said, he wants to have energy in his team. What did he say? Let's go back to that board here. We want to play a proactive style of football, on the ball and off the ball. And the easiest way to do that is by making the pitch smaller. Now, as I said, if I'm looking at this back four, and I really want to see Malacia, and I think we'll see him in the second half. But Shaw's been there since day one, and so has Wan-Bissaka. And there's huge question marks about both of them, really. Shaw, buck up. Malacia is going to take your spot in that starting 11. Simple as that. Tuanzebe, I think he'll get a chance. I mean, everyone's going to get a chance on a pre-season tour, won't they? But Maguire is obviously the one that there are most questions about in this. But because Maguire's not been there since day one of the pre-season, I think Tuanzebe and Lindelof will get the chance together. Now, midfield, this is where there's going to be a hell of a lot of questions. And I could be spectacularly wrong here. In terms of the personnel, McTominay has to prove to Erik Ten Hag that he can play that Edson Alvarez role. The Edson Alvarez role at Ajax, if you're looking at who was playing alongside him, Gravenberch, he'd be the one to sort of drop deeper and be the one to try and build up possession. Alvarez was responsible for breaking up the play and recycling possession. And that's all that McTominay has to do this year. He doesn't have to worry about bringing the ball forward, breaking through the lines. He should probably have Frankie de Jong alongside him to do that. But McTominay will be tasked with being that ball-winning, possession recycling. And by that, I mean, possession recycling means just simple balls. You don't always have to find a 30-yard through ball, breaking the lines. Just keep the ball moving, keep it active. And James Garner, we all need to learn how good he can be in that sort of de Jong role. I don't think he'll play in that. He's better going forward than he is there. But this could be any number of different players. Fred could be there, Hannibal could be there, you could see Donny drop in there. I've got no idea. But I'm guessing these two. And I'm putting Donny in for the start here. I think Donny would help the team play a little bit better in the beginnings. I've told you this is a big reason why de Jong is going to be such a transformative signing if or when that happens. Because he knows the system inside out. He won't have to be coached into how to playing it. And neither will Donny van de Beek. And these players will be learning, and it will be to do it up against Liverpool is going to be a very intense environment. I think Donny will help that. Certainly in the first half, and Bruno will probably come on in the second half. And if we're looking about movement, X, Y, Z, I'm looking forward to. And again, if you're looking at big question about Donny, what he can do. Big question about McTominay and what he can do. Big question about Wan-Bissaka. Can he be that proactive right back? Can Shaw show that he can keep Malacia out of the team? Lots of questions there, and the questions only continue when you go further up the pitch. Now, I've gone for a front three there. Rashford on the left, Martial through the middle, and Garnacho on the right-hand side. And each one of them, again, it's all about learnings. Going back to what Erik Ten Hag said here, he said, look, Wrong thing. It's this one here. I have to learn to know my squad, the personnel, the individuals and the players. That is, I think, one of the biggest advantages of the tour. And if we're looking at questions that need to be answered, it's number one, can Rashford re-find his form on the left-hand side? It's a huge question about Rashford this season. Of course, with Ronaldo probably leaving, he may well end up playing through the middle more. But Rashford's best position at Manchester United, we know it's been left wing, always has been. Martial, can he operate as that number 9? Can we rely on him to be a goal scorer this season? How will he play if he's sort of operating, dropping a little bit deeper? Because if you're looking at how Tadic and Van der Beek played in 2018-19 at Ajax, a lot of the time Tadic would drop deep like that with Donny van der Beek going in to fill the gap that he leaves. And that sort of switch made it harder to mark the Ajax players, made it easier to play a fluid style of football. Can Martial do that? We don't know. And Garnacho. Now Garnacho played out on the left wing more often than not for the under-18s last season, the FA Youth Cup. He may well do that again. But questions, I think, have to be asked as to who will play on that right wing. You could see Elanga start here. You could see Garnacho start here. You could see Pellistri start here. And maybe you're more likely to see Pellistri there. And maybe Garnacho is just being held down as a left winger. We're challenging for that spot with Rashford. But maybe he's going to... I'm probably wrong on this one. That will probably more be like Pellistri. But I've gone for that as a front three. And as I said, this team, this starting 11, it's just all about... By the way, the only reason that Chong, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka are different shades of red is because I ran out of red. There's so many players in this squad. But that's what I'm going to go for the first 11. And as I said, the main things I'm looking for are a higher line. I want to see this back line here. I don't want to see that camped on the edge of our own box. I want to see us play a little bit higher, have a little bit more confidence that we can cover the space in behind. No better team to try that against than Liverpool. I want to see how we play in terms of possession in midfield. How can we play with triangles? Can we move the ball around well? Can we do that good? Out of possession, we need to see this front three, front four pressing. Pressing as a team, pressing as a unit. How can we do that? What about the overlaps from Shaw and Wan-Bissaka? What about Malacia when he comes on? There really are so many questions. And I'm looking forward to it. I am looking for, and I'm not just saying that for the sake of the video. I'm looking forward to seeing how we play differently. This is going to be the beginnings of a new system. And we might get pumped. But we'll play the same system in the second game. We'll play the same system in the third game. Game by game, we will get better. It's a kind of a shame that we've got to play Liverpool in the first game, but it is what it is. You let me know what you think about the starting 11, who you would start against Liverpool. I hope you've been enjoying the content here on United People's TV. I've been really enjoying doing it. Because as I said, I think it's proactive content. It's content that's looking ahead, looking forward, and not just being naively positive. But I'm seeing positives in the pre-season. I've brought them to you here. And there's a lot of reason to be frustrated about that starting 11, that midfield. It's not good enough to compete in the Premier League. We know that. We need more. But what can we expect to see and learn from this game? I've run through what I think. You can let me know what you think in the comments below, as you always do.